Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you so much for joining us today on another crazy, wild edition of Crime and Sports. Hope you've enjoyed the last couple of multi-parters. That Ted Turner was the best surprise we've ever had from an episode.
He's terrific.
Never knew that guy existed.
Yeah.
Found him randomly, and just what a fucking awesome story. That was just a great story. If you missed it, because you,
bottom.
Yeah, some people are like, old timey episodes. I don't know. Trust us. Oh my God, it sounds
nuts.
So many people messaged me and said, "Is this after the first part?" And said, "You're going to tell us in part two that you made up part one, right?"
It's all fake.
Literally, it's going to be one of your switcheroos, right? And I was like, "No, I swear to God, this is all real. Really, I'll believe it when I hear it." And I was like, "Nope, trust me."
We save those for not April Fool's Day. We just do them on a whim and give you a two-parter, and then at the end tell you just wasted your time. We would never
do that. No.
Never.
Nope. We give you the fake childhood or whatever, and then I'll tell you I'm kidding, and we'll go on with the real story. Yeah, I'm not going to leave you hanging that long. So thank you for joining us today. Check out, before we start the show, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get all of your tickets for Small Town Murder live shows, all of your merchandise, everything from skateboards to shower curtains. We got it all there. So check that out and come and be a part of the whole thing here. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Listen to our other shows, Small Town Murder and Your Stupid Opinions as well, because holy shit is that funny. And so is Small Town Murder. They're both hilarious. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all of your bonus material. Anybody $5 a month, or $5 a month or above, which is a cup of coffee. Right. It's just a cup of, you can skip one cup of coffee, make it at home that day, because it might suck anyway. Half the time coffee sucks when you get it out places. It's not any good.
Yeah. At home, it's so much better.
Skip the coffee for one day, get Patreon instead, get hundreds of back episodes you've never heard before, and get new ones every other week, one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you can get all of it and hear all of it, and you get a shout-out at the end of the regular live show. So it's the best value in podcasting. Let's be realistic here. And you get a pocket fisherman, all for the low, low price. No fun. No, no pocket fisherman. We will not send you one.
No, they don't make them anymore. It'd be very hard for us to find that many of them.
I saw a kid on the Hudson River with what looked like
one?
He had like, I don't know if it was an official old school commercial one, but it was like a pocket fisherman setup. And I was like, this little motherfucker here.
I kind of want to Google and see how many exist.
Right? It's wild stuff. So yeah, check that out. Come hang out with us there and listen. Jimmy will mispronounce your name as well. So lots of benefits to that. Patreon.com/crime in sports, just like this show. That said, let's get into this. Yeah. We're going back into football this week, American football, I should say. Yeah. And we are going, because those are fun always for us. And somebody who played at a time that we know, drafted in 1995. So, I mean, right in our wheelhouse here. We're going to talk about Jimmy Hitchcock. Do you remember this guy? He's a cornerback. No. He played for a long time, too. Yeah, he played for like 8 years.
Who did he play for?
I remember him. No, he started out with New England, Minnesota, Carolina. He'd go everywhere for 2 years. That was his thing. Okay. They'd sign him to a 2-year deal, and then they'd be like, all right, we don't need him.
That's not enough. That's probably more depth. I'll bet a lot of people that played in the NFL that you never heard of did that. Because
absolutely, yeah.
There's never, you don't hype up a guy that you're about to keep for 2 years. You know what I mean? That guy got on the squad because they needed to fill a spot.
Yep.
Kept him for a couple of years. He didn't pan out and become a superstar. They move him on to the next place.
They signed him hoping he'd be a starting corner. He was a backup corner, and then they got another guy who's cheaper coming up, or they fourth round draft pick. They grabbed a corner, so fuck you, you're out. He's
or
cheaper.
They drafted somebody high, and they're like, look, this kid's going to be a superstar. Goodbye.
One or the other. So this is Jimmy Davis Hitchcock Jr., of course.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Davis. It never stops, man, with the junior shit. He's born November 9th, 1970 in Concord, North Carolina. That's where he's from. And he went to Concord, North Carolina High School. And
really?
So, yeah, he stuck around there, stuck around old Concord. His grandmother's name is Roberta, and his father's name is James Davis Hitchcock Sr., of course. No relation to Alfred at all. He has, I don't know his mother's name, but his younger brother, he's got Angelo Latte Hitchcock.
Latte.
L-A-T-E. I'm going with latte.
I
think it's
late.
I think it's latte.
No, the emphasis is on the A. That's got to be latte.
I think it's latte. Angelo, the mom was like, I love lattes.
She just doesn't know how to spell it.
Don't spell it well, but I know I love it. And he's got
It's delicious.
Another brother named, I believe, Khadija, Kadija, and he has sister.
Dope.
He has sister. That's better than latte, probably.
Yeah.
And he has sisters named Roz, Ann, and Kim.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he was born in Concord. Then they moved to New Jersey. He grew up in New Jersey and then moved back to Concord and went to high school.
Wow.
So, yeah, from NC to Jersey to back to North Carolina is interesting here. I'm going to give you some quotes from him. Now, he has a podcast that's terrible lately.
Really?
Like the last, for the last 4 months or so. Because he has a podcast, he'll probably listen to this, which is funny. Because
Does he have guests? Are they good guests?
I think he has guests, but he has
to, right? Because it's not about him. Nobody gives a fuck about his NFL career.
Well, he's not famous enough to do it on his name, and he's not talented enough to do it on his talent. So, in terms of broadcasting,
right. He played football, so his brain's fucked up.
Guarantee you're a better football player than both of us, but you couldn't hold our dicks in podcasting, Jimmy Hitchcock. Let me tell you something, buddy.
Comedy, you son.
Or comedy. Guarantee you we're way funnier than you, for sure. So here's a bunch of quotes from him from his podcast. So we have no idea if this is true. This is there's no
his words.
His words, his recollections, and whatever makes him feel better, I guess, because there's no this isn't like his sister going, oh, I remember when this happened, or any witnesses or anything. So this is a memory he said he has from kindergarten, where is his mom sliding up under my bed when she was running from someone who was trying to abuse her. He cut her on the back of the leg and really injured her, and she ended up in the hospital. So that's what one of his first memories that he can remember was kindergarten age.
He was running from abuse?
No, his mom was running away from somebody who had cut her in the leg and ran in his room and slid under his bed and hit under her 5-year-old's bed.
That's a fun memory.
Well, if someone's chasing you with a knife, you don't run toward your 5-year-old, number one.
You run away from that kid.
You don't make it so the only thing between you and me is my 5-year-old. That's not, because that's how it is now. I'm under the bed, he's on top of the bed. So what is that fucking saying? I don't think that's a smart move.
His bingo is his name-o, motherfucker. Yeah. Run in front of him.
This is crazy. Another memory, this is a quote, another memory that I have is we moved to New Jersey. And my mom, she was just an incredible protector of her kids. That's ironic after what we just talked about.
Right. Or she throws you in front of her.
One or the other. Maybe she had her knife under his bed, and that's what she was going for.
Amazing protector of herself with her kids.
With her kids, yeah. We fixed it for you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
My sister had a bully that was bullying her, and the bully was 18. Well, how old was she? We went to a school. We went to a school kindergarten through 12th grade, so a K through 12 type of deal here. And we used to walk home from school. That bully would pull her hair every single day and say Hitchcock, Hitchcock, and would pull one ponytail one way and one the other way. But my sister kept telling me, "Hey, don't tell Mom." But I was just boiling inside. Eventually, when my sister was asleep, I went in and told my mom what was going on with her. That's good. The next day...
That a boy's got a crush on her?
I don't know if it's even a boy.
Yeah.
No, it's a girl. It's a girl. It's a girl in the quote. Well, that's right. The next day, my mom waits for the girl to get off the bus. See, that's the thing. We think of this behavior automatically as boy shit because we're like, that's what we were because that's what boys did. Girls bully less, but girls do bully.
Sure.
They do. They just stay frequently less physically and more mentally.
Right. And mostly mentally about their appearance.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
The goal is to cause an eating disorder with them. I believe.
Suicide.
Or suicide.
It's
boys,
so fucked up.
With boys, it's to show that I'm tough. Whereas with girls, it's to destroy you. It's weird.
Boys inflict the harm. Girls inflict psychological warfare to make you self-harm.
To make you it's fucking weird.
Fucking force your own hand.
Which is exactly how relationships are, too. Men might beat the shit out of you and do all that, and women will make you want to beat the shit out of yourself. So it's like
make you drink till you die.
It never ends. They're just training. They're just in training.
It's fascinating.
He'll be dead by 64, this guy. I'll run him into the ground. I swear to God. And I'll live till 85.
They're in for the long game.
I'll be taking that 401k right about then. So she said the next day my mom waits for the girl to get off the bus and grabs her by the hair and slams the girl to the ground. Okay, now it's child abuse. Your mom can't...
Well, if she's 18, this is two consenting adults, maybe.
I don't think she's 18. Oh, I guess she was 18. I guess it is.
18.
Otherwise, go find her mom and kick her ass. You know what I mean?
So I always tell my kids, you get picked on, you tell me. I'll find their fucking dad.
That's what I mean. I'm not going to go after the kid.
I'm not trying to get arrested for this. I want to start at the fucking root of this problem. Why isn't their parent doing something about it?
Yeah, well, the kids like that, though, too, you know the father probably isn't going to be in much of a position to make a difference at that point anyway, because they've probably taken off.
Chair. Yeah.
And that's why they're like that.
He's in the garage drunk.
Yeah, he's too shit-faced or in jail or something. He says, all right, she's hitting the girl in the face. And then she says, don't you ever put your hands on my daughter while she was hitting this girl and beating this girl up.
Yeah. We don't hit.
Wow. The girl's 18 years old, but my mom couldn't have been too much older. Well, if your sister... Yeah, how could your mom not be older than 18? So... It's K through 12, so I guess was your sister a little kid and getting picked on by an 18-year-old?
That's a crazy story.
That's a crazy fucking story.
What 18-year-old is wandering around pulling the pigtails of a fucking 8-year-old?
But if that's
the case, so maybe weird. I'll knock the shit out of an 18-year-old too.
If you're 18, you're picking on my 8-year-old. Now we're gonna fight. Yeah, we're throwing down now.
Yeah.
So my mom's I couldn't have been too much older. I was 7 years old, so she was around 24. So he said my mom's 24 and this girl's 18. My mom's beating this girl up, and her gun falls out beside her.
What?
Mom's gun, not the girl's gun.
Mom is crazy.
Mom took a
gun. Brought a gun to a high school fight.
Wow. Never mind a gun to a knife fight.
Holy shit, Jimmy.
She brought a gun to a trapper keeper fight. That's crazy.
To a Lisa Frank fight.
Wow. Her gun falls out beside her. All right, this is the type of woman my mom is. A phenomenal human being, a phenomenal person, has been through a lot in her life. I love her to death. That's my hero. So
who may have accidentally shown an 18-year-old a pistol.
Yeah. She was lucky she wasn't pistol whipping her. So
no shit.
She says, some of my other vivid memories I have of my childhood is when we moved from New Jersey to North Carolina and we had a serious thick accent. We used to talk like the Northeast talk. You know,
what?
so
you were there
got
for how long?
When you're a little, if you move there when you're 5, though, you'll pick that accent up quick as a motherfucker. Yeah,
Really?
When you're 5 and shit, like people who move to even America, if they move like before they're about 10, they won't have any accent usually by the time they're 30. Like that shit's gone. But if you anything after that, like my grandmother moved to America when she was 16, and she never came close to losing her accent. I mean, you know. It was just the way it was, yeah. But her sister has a little less of an accent, and she was like 12. You know what I'm saying? So it's
very interesting.
That kind of shit. So, she said that we had a serious accent. We used to talk like the Northeast talk, you know. Before we got our Southern twang back, I'd talk like a Northerner, and what would happen is the kids, they did not like it for some reason. Oh, gee, I wonder why. They're so accepting down there.
Yeah, get to a higher grade level, and you'll understand once you start doing history.
Yeah, or get a podcast, and they'll come out of you like that too.
Yeah, they'll tell you. Yeah.
They'll tell you. They tell me often. Trust me. They used to talk, and I'd say ball, and then they'd ball. What? Ball, but ball. Yeah, I'd say ball
and they say
with a
ball.
W, and they'd say ball.
Yeah.
It's not like ball. It's ball. It's not like ball. It's ball. So we'd just get into skirmishes over the way I talked, and it seems like that from time to time I touched down back home in the bottom that I got into a fight, which amounted to like what seemed like 365 days of fighting. Maybe I don't know what he's talking about. It seems like he has to fight every day because he's got an accent, which I doubt is. It might be true too, and maybe in the fucking 70s.
Yeah, it's probably that's probably an exaggeration because it's got to be frustrating to be like having to have a conversation and then say something and that of meaning, of value, and then somebody corrects it with like a different pronunciation. You're like, just answer the fucking question, man. What are you talking about?
Especially when you know they know what the fuck you're saying. That's what's fucking annoying down south, because they'll do that. And then at the same time, you'll ask for something to write with, and they'll go, ink pen? And you're like, what? Ink pen. What the fuck are you talking about? What is that? Ink pen. You mean a fucking pen with an E? I will send Sherman down here, I swear to God. To the ocean. To the fucking sea. I swear to Christ. You ink pen using motherfuckers. Yeah.
It's like, but I don't. And when you have a conversation with people that don't travel, and you know what I mean? When you're in a little bubble, you don't go fucking anywhere, and then somebody says something to you, and then you correct my words. I just listened to the bullshit that came out of your fucking face hole, and now you're not going to just take what you know what I mean. Fuck off. Yeah, let's go play basketball.
Yeah, we're balling. So, because I remember in the fourth grade, a girl moved, because I was friends with her for years, is why I remember. In fourth grade, a girl moved from Tennessee to New York, where I lived, and came to the class, and she had a Tennessee accent, like a motherfucker. I mean, it was really Tennessee twangy.
Right.
And everyone went, holy crap, your accent's cool. They're like, oh, cool.
That's nice.
Because you're different. That's cool. And they were all like, everyone was like, say this. Oh, man, that sounds so cool. And she says that. Yeah, say that. Come on. And then show me. No, wait.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, that's that. I know that we're more welcoming. Put it that way.
But you know that's part of the charm of living in New York is that everything's welcome because it's a fucking melting pot, and they like
here. Yeah,
there is a lot of abrasive name calling.
Oh yeah.
But it's in love and
it is.
You know what I mean? It's affection. Down there, the name calling is from 8.
That's the thing. Here's someone you could be walking on the street, they'll call you a fucking asshole. You step out off the curb, get hit by a car, and then they'll go, no, I got to go help this fucking asshole. And they'll go help you.
Yeah.
But you're still an asshole. Come on, asshole. Let's go. Let me help you out. Let's get you to an ambulance. Let me put pressure on that wound, asshole. Come on. There we go. It's a little different.
You're causing a backup with your fucking problems.
So Jimmy goes on to say, I had so many people that I would get into skirmishes with. I became one of those people that was just a terror in the neighborhood. I became a really bad kid. Okay, now he describes a Boy Scout trip in North Carolina that I hope isn't true. Let's put it that way. I hope it isn't true. And so there's a couple details where I'm like, that doesn't seem physically possible. But the main gist of it, I don't know. We'll see. He said, I was a Boy Scout and we went on a camping trip with the troop, and I was so excited about going camping. I had gotten my bag together and gotten all the things together that I need to get to go camping. Jesus, that's a lot to say I wanted to go camping.
I was really excited.
Wow. Whoa. Once we got to the campground, there was a fire in the middle and there were tents around the fire. You know, like a campground. Like any other campground. Well, we started roasting marshmallows, and I ended up getting lifted for some reason. Or lifted up for some reason. I was like, you got high?
Yeah. He's getting stoned out here.
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm in the air after about 5 seconds of roasting marshmallows, and I turn and look, and there's the 2 scout leaders. One's got my hands and one's got my feet, and they're swinging me back and forth, saying, throw the N in the fire. Throw the N in the fire. Okay. I hope that's not true.
Yeah.
I hope 2 adults aren't taking a child and fucking picking him up by hands and feet, calling him a horrible racial slur and threatening to throw him in a fire. I hope
he's a black guy, yes?
Yeah, Jimmy Hitchcock's a black guy. I said he's an NFL cornerback, Jimmy. That's not named Jason Sehorn. Yes, he's a black guy. There have been 1 starting white cornerback in the NFL in the last 30 years. 1. And it's Jason Sehorn.
Good, right?
No, starting. There's been one
is that
starting. That's the truth. 1 starting white cornerback in the NFL in the last 30 years. It's Jason Sehorn.
Yeah. So if you've got a white child in high school that's playing cornerback, he'll probably be a punt returner.
Move them away from that.
Yeah.
No, make them probably toward punting would probably be better. Yeah, not returning.
Goals.
Yeah, returning. You got a 4.3 40? Nope, well, go kick it then, because we don't need you to return shit.
Kick the ball, Welker.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So that's what he said. He said they're saying that. Mm-hmm. He said, and I'm squirming, and it was so much fear that took over me during that time, but I also had packed a knife in my sock.
What?
I had a switchblade that one of my mom's baby daddies, so one of the fathers of one of his siblings, would always tell me to keep a switchblade in my sock or somewhere you can get to it.
That's not where the Boy Scouts tell you to carry it.
They say always be prepared, but they don't say with a switchblade in your fucking sock. That sounds like something my family would have instructed you to do. Always keep one on you. You never know. You know what I mean?
Also, Mr. Hitchcock, that blade's illegal. You can't have a switchblade.
Tell a child to keep it in his sock. He said, so I was squirming around, and I ended up getting one hand in my sock, and I popped it open, and they dropped me right away. Okay, well, how would they have been swinging you by one hand? Each person had both hands and both feet. How did you get an arm all the way down to your sock to pull a knife out if they were swinging you back and forth?
They're stretching you out, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Logistically, it doesn't make sense.
So the story doesn't make sense. And if it happened a long time ago, too, they might have done that, then let him down, but in his mind, he doesn't remember. But then at some point,
unsafe.
He popped out with the knife. So who the fuck knows? But he said it popped it open and they dropped me right away. So he said, I was just one of those kids that was really bad. And I ran back, and me and Brian both got in the tent, and I'm sitting in front of Brian with the knife drawn because we're thinking that they're going to try to throw us in the fire.
God, Jesus.
Later on that night, I got pushed out of the tent, literally out of the tent and into the rain. They pushed me out while I was asleep, and I'm in the rain. I used to sleep so hard like that. I didn't even know until later, like as soon as the day breaks. Okay, so you didn't wake up from being pushed out of a tent or having rain fall upon you for hours.
You just slept out there thinking that you were still in the tent?
That's called a coma, I believe. I don't think that's sleep.
That's probably signs of trauma, though, right?
Maybe.
If you can just sleep through anything.
How many Ambien would it take for that to happen? Like to not notice you were in the rain outside and wake up.
And also, who pushed you out of the tent? Your tent mate or those fucking assholes?
That's the other thing. We don't know. He said, is this Whitewater summer? Talk to me. Where's Sean Astin? Where is he?
Was it because of the radio?
Where the fuck is Sean Astin? I don't know what's going on. So that's what I mean. Logistically, these stories, I don't like. And if you remember something from when you're a kid, you don't remember it exactly right sometimes. So I mean, that could be the gist of it,
right?
was maybe he woke up and then decided, fuck it, I'll just stay out here and go to sleep. And then later on forgot he woke up, or 30 years later definitely forgot he woke up, 40 years later, whatever. So who knows?
And there's also the aspect of like fear and
yes,
if he's afraid of these guys, he doesn't remember this shit, right?
That's what I mean. Who knows? But clearly there was something that happened that made him scared. But I don't. Those logistics of that story sound a little shaky.
Yeah, I also don't like the fact that was with the fucking Boy Scouts.
With the Scouts, yeah,
it bums me out so much.
No shit. He said in 6th grade. He told his mom that if she let him play football, that he'd buy her a home someday, which is very confident for an 11-year-old to say, I'm going to play in the NFL.
If you let me play today, I'll eventually do it professionally and make shitloads of money.
I swear. She laughed and said, all the kids say that. Yeah. When she laughed, it lit a fire under me that made me really want to do it, to disprove that laugh. So I set on my journey in the 6th grade.
Wow.
He said he decided there. Mom ended up going to jail, which honestly is not surprising based on the fact that she came to fight a child armed. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you got Mama Drew down coming to fucking
this is
Jesus.
Fucking insane. So he said, we're virtually on our own raising kids. There's me, my brother, my sister. My sister ended up having babies, and then they ended up moving out. So it ends up being just me and just a brother for a couple of years, and my younger sisters and my younger brother Angelo. Okay. Wow. So from he said from 7th to 12th grade he had Bible class, and he said it shaped his views because he was really grounded in biblical principles and always wanted my family to just be Christians, as opposed to
keep that in mind.
A few Hindus and a couple other people there. So he plays football all through. The weirdest fucking part is during high school, he fucks his knees up so bad that he has his ACLs removed.
Removed?
He played in the NFL with no ACLs at cornerback.
You can have that done?
Hines Ward had no ACLs as well.
What?
John Elway had no ACLs.
Is that why he walked like that?
That's a fact.
And ran like that.
Yep,
yeah.
He had no ACLs. There's a long list of players. Those are just really
Hines
Hall of
Ward
Famers.
walked funny too.
Yep.
And
no
ran
ACL.
Funny. What is that?
Doesn't affect your speed apparently, because one's a wide receiver and one's a fucking cornerback and one was a fast guy before he was old.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, that's interesting as fuck. I never knew that and never knew that was even possible.
I didn't know you could operate without him.
Apparently back then they could repair him and then you wouldn't be able to play anymore. But if they took him out, or you would fuck you up. But if they took him out completely, then I guess there was a chance you could come back and be fine. I thought you needed that to keep your leg from falling apart.
I thought when you walked, that was the thing that brought it back. You know what I mean?
I thought if you take that out, your bottom half of your leg will fall off of the top half of your leg. It seemed to be holding it on. I guess
that's the knee.
I don't know what's going on there. So
wow.
He almost went to South Carolina. That was to that college, but he didn't though. He ended up going to the University of North Carolina. So Chapel Hill there. It's Tar Heels.
Tar Heels, yeah.
So he goes there in 1991. He's there from 91 to 94. He apparently, they say that in the early 90s, he played a high-profile role in students' struggle to persuade administrators and trustees to approve a freestanding building for the Sonia Hayne Stone Black Cultural Center.
Tell me what you just said.
A bunch of students, apparently partially led by him, were petitioning the administration of the school.
Building.
No, they're trying to get a building. They're trying to get a building to be approved that would just be a building for Black cultural studies. And they would call it the Sonia Hayne Stone Black Cultural Studies Center.
I love that. That's awesome.
So they want to do that. So the center had an office in the Student Union building, but a university feasibility study had recommended a much larger space. So they said, let's do that. So he was in there. Apparently, because in that year, in 1991, a advisory board member named Professor Sonia Hayne Stone prompted students to request and university trustees to approve the renaming of the center in her memory because she died in 91. She dropped dead sudden death. So I think she was a younger person.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry. The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
She had favored a freestanding building for the center, and in 1992, students demanded that the university commit to one. Mm-hmm. And Hitchcock said, "It opened my eyes." He said, being at the in the mix for this to try to get it to happen.
Yeah.
He said, "The center helped me become a more diverse person. It helped me express feelings I have about what goes on in the world. It helped me communicate better with people I didn't know anything about and respect their viewpoints. If the BBC can do that for 10 people, it's worth fighting." Or the BCC, not the BBC. Yeah. If my big black cock can do this
or that
for
British
10 people.
Channel.
Yeah, or the British News. If BCC can do that for 10 people, it was worth fighting for.
So he got Black history taught to him, and it opened his eyes and made him more accepting. Is that what he's saying?
That's what he's saying, I guess. Yeah, he learned more about other shit. I don't know. Yeah, he has to be saying. Yeah, in 1992, Jimmie, and 3 other student athletes formed the Black Awareness Council to work with other student groups in order to press for this building.
Yeah.
The athletes were later joined by George Lynch, who was a big basketball player, if you remember him, and not the guitarist for Dokken. And he was a starting forward on the team, and he ended up playing in the NBA too. He was on the national championship team in '93, though. So, at that point, he's a god at the school.
Yeah,
I mean, forget about it. So they said activism by football and basketball players wasn't usual around there. They usually kept kind of quiet about it.
Yeah,
so they got media attention. Jimmy Hitchcock was interviewed on Nightline.
How about that?
Yeah, he and other students spoke on university campuses, including Vanderbilt, Harvard, and Columbia.
Wow.
And then in July 1993, funny, about 4 months after they won a national championship in basketball and got that guy on the team here, UNC trustees voted in favor of a freestanding building, and so they got it. They got that. So he would end up going to jail in USC while he was at UNC, for different protests he was involved in to get the cultural center going.
Some activism shit. Attaboy.
Some activism jailings, which on this show we very, very rarely get a jailing for a good cause.
Rarely get a good trouble jail.
Yeah, it's something selfish or short-sighted or awful. So 1993, the Tar Heels football team, and they were not considered a national powerhouse.
No.
For a long time, but in the 90s they started to get a little bit better. They were 10-3 this year, actually.
No shit.
The football team, yeah, they were ended up being 19th in the final AP poll. So top 20, an actual top 20 team.
That's amazing that the top 20 is mostly 3 losses or less. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. It's tough to get in there. Well, there's 106 teams back then in 1A. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of competition on this team. Also, Freddie Jones, Bucky Brooks. Corey Holiday, different guys who played in the NFL. Leon Johnson. Some NFL players in here. Mike Morton, Sean Boyd, Bracey Walker. I think Jimmie was redshirted for this season, though, it seems like, because I'm not getting any. Oh, no, he wasn't. He did play. That's right. He had kick returns, but he wasn't playing cornerback here. Yeah, he played in all 12 games, though. Or no, yeah, he had to have, but he only returned one kick for 36 yards.
Maybe they
kicked it to him by accident. I don't know. He ended up having a daughter while he's a junior at UNC. He will have a daughter with somebody, so that's how that goes. 1994 Tar Heels are 8-4, not bad, but a little more toward the mediocre side of the pack here. There's a lot better teams in
That's
that.
the bottom 40.
That's kind of in the middle there. So he plays just 93 and 94 really for the team, 92, 93, 94. And he is ready for the combine for the NFL.
Really?
Now, combine stats here, he was 24 during the combine, so older than a lot of the kids were.
What's that about?
That's interesting. His 40-yard dash is 4.62 seconds.
Okay, 4.6.
4.6, which is not a great starting cornerback speed.
Right,
That's okay for a safety or somebody like that, but a guy who's got to run off the line with a wide receiver and keep up with him for 40 straight yards, maybe you got to be really
the fastest
fast.
guy in the league. You got to be as fast as him or faster.
That's the fastest guys are corners and receivers, so you got to be there. I mean, look at like Dion had like a 4.2 and he was a corner. Right. So I mean that's how that goes. He has his 40-yard miles an hour. That's interesting. They have he went 17.71 miles an hour during that time.
Fuck, that's fast.
I find that interesting for some reason. I don't know why here. So he's doing all of this shit and ready to do this. His height is 70.4 inches.
6'2"? What is that?
Yeah, that would be what? 1260 would be 5 feet. So he's 5'10".
5'11"? Yeah.
Not tall enough to have a 4.6 40, by the way.
No.
Corner, you can be big, and that's another kind of different corner, but you can't be small and slow.
You better be fast. Yeah.
You better be fast as fuck. Weighs 194 pounds. All of that, 4.62 there. Okay, so he's ready for the draft. He thinks he's ready. I guess they say his speed score was 25 out of 100. His size rating was 52 out of 100. And there's that. So
those are bad numbers.
This is what they put, too, as like the basic things. Cornerback success factors. One of the things they're looking for, just in basic outline of a cornerback, is faster than a 4.55 40-yard dash. Faster than that. He's not there.
No.
So that's kind of tough. So the 1995 draft comes around. By the way, 1995, who was the MVP of the NFL that year, Jimmy?
95?
95.
Who the hell was that? Jesus. Brett Favre?
It is Brett Favre.
Is there really?
Absolutely is.
Jesus.
I was like, think about it for a minute. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Packers had it all. They had him as the offensive player. The defensive player of the year was
Reggie
Bryce
White.
Paup, who was on their
Bryce
team in the
Paup,
middle.
yeah.
And, I think Reggie White came.
He might be with the Eagles,
there.
huh?
Yeah, I think he came the next year.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Jerry Rice, receiving leader. Emmett Smith, rushing leader. So all-time leaders in both of those were the leaders in those that year. That's pretty fucking interesting. Okay, so this year, 1995 NFL draft, number one draft pick. Who you got?
Ryan Leaf. I don't know.
We know it's not him. Number one overall. It's a big bust.
Then fucking shit. I don't know.
He was injured, but he was injured like immediately, and it's become a punchline.
Oh, it's become a punchline in the NFL? It's got to be a quarterback, yeah?
Nope. Kajana Carter, the running back.
Oh, yeah, I would have never gotten that. Who
blew
drafted him?
Cincinnati, of course, because they're terrible at everything. So they drafted him, and I think he blew his knee out in like the second play from scrimmage in preseason, and was never the same.
He must have been teetering in college then, right? Because there's no way that just happens.
Well,
right?
I mean, they went through the whole training camp and all that, and these were the exhibition games that are halfway through training camp started, and just second play, boop, he fell down.
He had to have been hiding something.
That's possible. And number two overall, though, Cincinnati has to kick themselves in the ass, as I'm sure they've done a million times over their 60 years of futility that they've had. Number two overall, Tony Baselli, the Hall of Fame left tackle. for the Jags, who played for fucking ever and was a great player. Number 3 overall, another guy that could have changed your franchise, Steve McNair. Number 3, Aaron McNair, who we've done a bonus episode about.
And if you kept him up there in Cincy, maybe he wouldn't have found that bitch that shot him.
That's exactly right. Maybe he would have stayed there. Michael Westbrook, the wide receiver, at 4. Kerry Collins at 5.
Okay.
Quarterback Kerry Collins. So a little bit of that. You don't get, and you get like Kyle Brady, J.J. Stokes, Joey Galloway, a bunch of kind of mediocre guys. Yeah. Then number 11 overall is Warren Sapp, another Hall of Famer.
Really?
Yep, another Hall of Famer there. Then number 23 overall, after a bunch of Hugh Douglases and Tyrone Wheatleys and guys like that. Although Oakland got Napoleon Kaufman, who was a nice player.
He's good, yeah.
And so is Hugh Douglas, actually. He was good, too. You get Ty Law, another Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
New England drafted him. And then 28th overall, Tampa again. 2 picks, fucking 16 picks apart. They pick another Hall of Famer, Derek Brooks.
What? They got Derek Brooks and Warren. No, yeah,
yep,
Warren.
2 Hall of Famers in the same round.
Shit.
They got, which is
impressive.
That'll change your defense right there. Yeah. Round 2 is just a bunch of guys you've never heard of. A lot of Ron Davises and fucking.
Not a lot of Jimmy. Not a lot of Jimmy Hitchcocks, huh?
No, Sherman Williams, guys like that. And then finally in round 3, pick. By the way, in round 3, there is a Hall of Famer out of round 3. Curtis Martin, picked by New England in the third round. Yep, there you go.
New England had him?
New England picked him in the 3rd round. Yep, they got him. And then later on in the 3rd round, New England has another pick, and they pick Jimmy Hitchcock with the 88th overall pick.
It's almost done, right?
There's 7 rounds, but
okay.
Still, that's the type of guy that if they had a mediocre corner who's a veteran, who's a backup, that guy's going to get bumped out for this guy because he's going to be cheaper and younger, basically, less chance of injury. So
and probably running the same speed at this point.
That's what I mean. Same thing. 1995 New England Patriots roster here and year. They're 6-10 under Bill Parcells that year. That's when he took them over. Yeah. And the next year they went to the Super Bowl. There's that. On the team, you have definitely not Tom Brady. I'll tell you that fucking much. No, you got Bledsoe for sure there. Yeah. You got Bledsoe. You got Troy Brown, the wide receiver. Guys like that. What's his name on the team here? Hold on.
Troy Brown's good.
Bob Cratch. I remember that name. I always thought that was the worst name.
Is that a lineman?
Bob Cratch is a right guard, one of those. And I also like Andre President. That's a great name.
President.
Andre President is his last fucking name.
Hell yeah.
That's amazing. And Reggie White, not that Reggie White, a different Reggie White is on the team. He is a nose tackle, a 6'4", 296-pound nose tackle, though.
My Christ.
And then White's a defensive end, but still, that's interesting.
Just learn the gospel, and you can pretend to be him.
You can do it. I'm Reggie, goddammit. New England, though, here with Jimmy Hitchcock, he plays in 8 games that year, starts none. Parcells hates rookies, by the way.
Yeah.
Doesn't like them. So he's not big on playing rookies unless they're phenomenal. He has 4 tackles all year. So that's all he does.
Yeah.
Doesn't do too much. 1996, now they're 11-5, New England is.
Yeah.
Beat the Steelers in the first round of the playoffs, beat Jacksonville in the second round of the playoffs, and then go to the Super Bowl and lose to Green Bay 35-21. Right. So there's that. And, so we all know how that fucking season went. That year, though, he plays in 13 games, starts 5 games, has 2 interceptions.
Hey.
And 32 tackles. Now we're talking. Now he's starting to get into the system. And a 3rd-round draft pick guy is going to kind of sit his first year unless somebody's, they have a lot of injury problems or something. Next year is not Coach Bill Parcells. Do you remember who coached them after Bill Parcells and before Bill Belichick?
I do. Who the fuck
very,
was it?
very famous guy.
Who was it?
Pete Carroll.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that was Pete Carroll's little,
and that was a
stint.
disaster.
A complete disaster. They were 10-6 this year, and then they fell off the table after that. They were shit.
And they fired his ass and sent him back to college.
Yep, and he had a huge run there that broke records and also made people give back Heismans.
Broke records illegally.
That year they went to the playoffs and beat Miami 17-3, and I think the next year was Dan Marino's last year, if I recall. And then they lost 7-6 to Pittsburgh.
Ouch.
That is brutal in the divisional round. 7-6. Man, that's tough.
And Pittsburgh went to the Super Bowl that year, yeah?
That was 97, the 98. No, they didn't go to the Super Bowl that year. No, yeah, they loved Denver.
Oh, it was way early.
Yeah, they went. Denver goes that year. Yeah, Pittsburgh didn't go again until a few years later, and they hadn't been since '79 or some shit. 80 was the last time.
Were they not in the Super Bowl in the early 90s?
Oh no, 96 they were in the Super Bowl against Dallas.
There you go.
95 season 96. So you got the year before wrong. Yeah, I was thinking that was included in that, and I'm like, no, this is after that. What am I doing? Yeah, got confused there. So this year, he became the record holder for the longest interception return in Patriots history with a 100-yard run back against the Dolphins.
Got it on the goal line. How about that?
Picked it on the goal line that year. He started all 15 games, and he had 2 interceptions, including the 100-yard touchdown run back, which made him look like he did a lot more that year. So that's good for him.
And Patriot fans will never forget that.
No, it's
at least for the next 5-10 years.
Well, the Patriots management certainly forgets it because April 20th, 1998, they trade him.
What?
They're like, fuck that. His value's never been higher. They trade him in that highlight to the Vikings for a 1999 third-round draft pick.
Oh, my, for a third round.
Which is what he was. So they're like, we don't expect anything much better than you. That's rough. Football does not get good trade value. You always end up with draft picks. 1998 Vikings here. They're 15-1. That was a badass team.
That was a good team. Yeah,
they were great. 15-1. But then they lost to Atlanta in the championship game.
Was that Moon? That was Warren Moon, wasn't it?
I believe that was Randall Cunningham, wasn't it?
Oh, Cunningham. Yeah,
I think that was Cunningham.
Right.
Yep, Randall Cunningham. Yep. He started 15 games that year. Randall was nasty because Randall was like the most mobile quarterback ever. And then he got hurt, and then he came back later in his career as a fucking great pocket passer.
Unbelievable pocket passer.
Unbelievable how he developed, man. He's a very underrated player, Randall. And in the beginning of his fucking career, oh my God. Like if 1988 Randall Cunningham played today, he would own that fucking league. Mahomes is like he's like a shadow of what Randall was, but they have the same skill sets. But Randall's was so much to another level. He was bigger, and he had that fucking. You couldn't tackle him. He was like made of rubber.
No.
Then he had an arm. He could throw the ball fucking 80 yards. He even had the record for longest punt at one point.
Did he really?
Yes, he had. Their punter was hurt, and he punted, and it was like a fucking 88-yard punt or some shit. Not in the air, it rolled, but still, the guy's just good.
He's got all kinds of power. Vic could have been that had he not.
Vic was
had he not been a fucking idiot, but
he had an arm and legs,
and he was
everything.
a lefty too, so he you couldn't guard that like you guard everybody else, and he was
your
so
defense
good.
is backwards.
God damn it. Yeah.
Now you're left, this side.
So good.
Yeah. Your weak side guy's now your strong side guy, unless you switch
Cordell was
around.
Left too, right?
No, Cordell was right-handed.
Was it right-handed?
Yeah, he was a righty. Cordell was, he was, played everything equally mediocre.
Yeah. And eventually you learn how to play him, and then it was nothing.
Mediocre receiver, mediocre fucking quarterback, just mediocre. So this year, they beat the Cardinals and then lose to the Falcons in the playoffs here. Offensive coordinator Brian Billick on that team.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, it's weird because all of his teams are such defensive teams, and he's an offensive coordinator. Right. It's very strange here.
And it's fine, too. They lost to the team that went to the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl was very handily won.
Very handily won by the Broncos.
But that was a tough game, too, because the Vikings should have won that, but whatever. That's not here nor there.
Well, 98, he ends up. This is his huge year for Jimmie. Yeah. It's big. He starts all 16 games, 7 interceptions.
Yeah.
3 returned for touchdowns.
Wow.
And one of them was a 79-yarder, which is pretty goddamn good. He led the entire NFL in interception return yards with 242. So he had the most yards off the pick.
3 touchdowns,
That's pretty fucking impressive. I mean, that made everyone in the league go, who the fuck is this guy?
Who's this guy?
Wow, Jimmie. Goddamn Hitchcock. Son of a bitch.
Boy, did the Patriots shit the bed on this one.
And that's what it must have looked like. 1999 Vikings here. They go 10-6 as well. Yeah. Dennis Green coaching now there. Right. And, ex-shitty Giants coach Ray Sherman is the offensive coordinator. Uh-oh. Yikes. So this year for Hitchcock, this is a game against the Packers. A little clip from here. They said there was a 4th and 1 on the 4th and 1, and there was a 23-yard scoring pass to Corey Bradford with 12 seconds left.
Yeah,
that beat Jimmy Hitchcock.
Uh-oh.
But Brett Favre beat you in the last seconds with a good throw, and that's just kind of what he does. You know what I'm saying? So
he either throws a dart or throws it to the other team.
Yeah, either one. Yeah. Either way, it's a dart. Be careful. Try to catch that shit. But this caused Chris Carter to fucking berate Jimmy Hitchcock all the way off the field.
Oh, shit.
His own teammate. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like you've never fucked up, Chris Carter.
Right,
I'm sure he didn't want to give up the fucking game-winning touchdown.
And Chris Carter is on offense, so he came onto the field and got you and then cheered your fucking ear the whole walk back.
And if he wasn't a fucking veteran that everybody, everybody knew who he was, other guys on the defense would have came over and kicked the shit out of him and told him to go worry about your own side of the fucking ball, asshole. Yeah. If we had more points, that wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
But he starts all 16 games, has 2 interceptions this year. And we've talked about this before. Interceptions are they're about skill, but the difference between 3 interceptions and 8 interceptions is sometimes 0. It's a matter of a tip coming easily, a tip ball, because half of these interceptions are off a tip ball. It falls right into your hands, or
and
the receiver falls down. Also, sometimes the receiver falls down. It's just you and the ball. So, I mean, it depends on your luck on a lot of these. A lot of picks are luck.
Or a quarterback is hit when he throws. And
exactly.
The ball it's a free ball.
Shoots
those happen. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a couple.
Champ Bailey had 8 in one season, and probably 5 of them were fuck-ups. Like,
you get
not,
3, 4,
very
like,
impressive.
Everybody who has 10 picks or 8, 9 picks usually has 3, 4 like that year.
Yeah.
You know, so February 24th, 2000, this is after the season, he returns home and signs with the Carolina Panthers.
Really?
Yep, they signed him as a hometown UNC guy, even though it's in Charlotte and one's in Raleigh. It doesn't matter. It's still home state. So, yeah, he loved it. He signs a 4-year, $11 million contract.
Wow.
Getting his money. So that's good. And he started 53 consecutive games, his last game. So he looks like a very dependable guy who gets a lot of picks at this point. Yeah. And he says he does not plan to take a reserve role in his hometown. Not going to do that. He said, I'm not content being a backup to anybody. I'm a starter in the league, and that's the way I want to approach this. I'm a competitor, and I want to play. I expect to be on the field.
And on a fucking new team. I'm gonna be playing on this expansion ass shit.
Yeah, well, they were around for
they've been around for 5 years.
5 years or 6, 7 years. But it's still at that point, if you're a free agent and they sign you to a 4-year deal, you expect you're going to be a starter at least here. So they also have, though, their cornerbacks, Eric Davis and Doug Evans. They were the starting cornerbacks the year before, and they're both slated to make more than $4 million a year this season.
And you're going to challenge them, huh?
Yeah, you're gonna. That's another thing. Money wise, it's hard to displace a guy who's making more than you. Right. So they were talking about, are they going to release any of these guys and all of that? But the Panthers say that all 3 corners will compete for the starting jobs in training camp.
Okay.
Very strange. I'm going to say grace at this point.
Right now.
He just signed a big deal.
Yeah.
He couldn't be. This is as high as his stock could be.
Yeah.
It's going great for him. So 2000, the Carolina Panthers are 7-9 under. I forgot George Seifert went and coached there after the Niners. Right? Completely forgot about that. Wow, that is crazy.
Is Kerry Collins the quarterback of this?
No. He was on the Giants by now. Oh, okay. This is the Steve Berline era.
Yikes.
Where they went to the Super Bowl against New England and lost there. Tim Biaka Batuka is in there. Guys like that. So, they're trying to take it to the next level, let's just say here, and get a little bit better. This year, Jimmie plays in 16 games, only starts 2.
Oh, no.
But he's got to be like, what the fuck, man?
I would be saying, who gives a fuck, man? They got to pay me 11 over the next 4.
They don't,
this is
though.
great.
They have to pay me what they paid me so far, and then they can cut me tomorrow, and I never get another cent. So I'd be like, hey, I want to show I'm worth $3 million a year here, so let me fucking play. He has 3 picks, though, in 2 games started, and 116 return yards on interceptions, and a touchdown, too. What? And his touchdown was an 88-yard return.
Why wouldn't you play that guy?
This guy, he can break it once he gets it. That's interesting because he's not the fastest guy either. Right. So that's impressive,
man.
He must be slippery. 2001 Carolina is 1-15.
Oh shit!
Holy shit! They were in the Super Bowl in like 2 years, though. That's remarkable that they came back from that. 1-15. What a piece of shit season that is. Oh my God! Did Berline get hurt or something? I didn't even see him on here.
He had to, right?
I don't know, man.
They have Bianca Batuka playing, throwing?
They had Matt Little start a game. That's one quarterback. What a fucking mess. Just who's at the bottom there?
So Berline definitely got hurt.
Chris Wenke started 15
there
games.
You go. Yeah.
The Florida State guy who was 29 as when he was a rookie. Remember that? He came late.
Yeah.
So October 9th, 2001, there's an article called The Man Without an ACL.
Without two of them, right? Or just one? I don't know.
Well, it said just like Jamal Anderson and Jamal Lewis and all the other players who have suffered season-ending knee injuries in 2001, Carolina's cornerback Jimmy Hitchcock also has serious problems with his ACL. He doesn't have any. His ACLs.
That?
Yes, indeed. While it can take some players 2 years to come back from an ACL tear, talking about Terrell Davis and all these guys, they say Hitchcock has carved a nice career out for himself, sans ACLs.
How about it?
And the Panthers' strength and conditioning coach said, "This is extraordinary and unique. I haven't come across anything like this in my 14 years in the NFL. And if I hadn't actually seen it firsthand, I'd say to you, come on, give me a break. There's no way this could be true. To be honest, I don't even really understand it."
That's amazing.
Which is not what you want your strength and conditioning coach to say.
Your medical guy, yeah.
Probably figure out how the body works before you start telling me what weights to lift.
Your medical guy's like, I didn't know you could live without it.
Yeah. You know, shit, he said, those are of us unfortunate souls who have blown out a knee. For me, it ended a collegiate wrestling career that was remarkable for only its unremarkableness. Know that when an ACL goes, it makes a loud, sickening sort of knuckle-cracking pop, which leaves you with the distinct feeling that the only thing holding your leg together is skin. Now imagine having that feeling on both legs and then going out and covering Rams wide-out Torrey Holt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hitchcock, he said that he first heard that telltale sound and felt that wobble when he was a sophomore in high school. He rehabbed his right knee without the benefit of surgery and was back on the field a year later when he blew out his left knee while celebrating after a blocked punt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. He pulled a Grammatica.
Yeah, and with the one knee that's bad, he knows it, so he favors it, and he probably put a bunch of weight on that.
Weight.
Oh,
I'm
damn
sure.
it.
And did it for a long time when he was rehabbing it and trying to get it back. He said that this is what Hitchcock said. We just didn't have the money or the medical insurance. We couldn't afford to fix him.
Wow.
Sometimes we underestimate the body's ability to adapt. I just think of it this way. What did people do before there was knee surgery? Not play in the NFL would be my guess.
Or chopped their legs off and had legs. I don't know, dude.
Fuck, man. He said the article goes on to say, well, if they were anything like Hitchcock, in order to stabilize their knee joints, that developed the kind of quad muscles that would make Arnold wear long pants. Plus, Hitchcock says with a straight face, all the arthritis in there helps hold them together. He means that. Keeps it all together. Yeah. He said they would build up an incredible tolerance for pain. He said some days they don't hurt at all, and some days the pain is excruciating. They'd go on with their careers as if nothing ever happened, and the process makes the rest of us feel like surgically repaired crybabies.
Okay.
The trainer guy, the strength and conditioning guy, said all these guys who have hurt knees recently in the back of their minds are thinking, can I come all the way back, or have I lost that little edge that made me special? Well, those guys should point to Jimmie and think, hell yeah, I can come back. My situation may be bad, but heck, at least I've got an ACL.
Right.
Yeah. He said that he not only earned a scholarship to North Carolina in 1995, he was projected as the top cornerback in the NFL draft until doctors got a look at his knees.
And then, so he slid because of it.
I don't believe that, though. I think that's bullshit because if he had a 4.62 40, he's not going to be the first cornerback taken.
They're not looking at your knees to find out what's wrong with them at 4.6.
He might have been a late second round pick that slid to the third, but you weren't going to be a top 10 draft pick. Just be honest here.
That's an interesting claim.
It's a very interesting claim. It's a local Carolina paper with a fluff piece on Jimmie, so they're going to say that. They said in 1997 he picked off a Dan Marino pass and returned it 100 yards for a TD. The following year he swiped career-high 7 passes. So he talks about that. He says, I think of my knee like a door.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing. I never heard of that before. He said that he draws strength and old family herbal remedies from his grandma Roberta. as well. She's given him.
What about the door?
She's given him. Well, I think that's what he's talking about. He's trying to figure out why, but his grandma gives him herbal remedies for a no ACL, which is a very weird.
Drink this mushroom tea. You won't
It'll
care about that knee
regrow your ACL. The hinges.
Think about my knee as a door, my foot as an end table, my other foot as an ottoman.
My shoulders feel like lamps today.
What is he talking about?
The hinges at the top and the bottom are gone, and the middle hinge is the only thing holding the whole door together. So that would be your MCL, which goes across it sideways, which if you blow that out, you're fucked. I've been lucky to be able to use that door for a long time, but sooner or later, that one hinge is going to give way and pop out.
Yeah.
That's what he said. But he said eventually he'll probably need a knee replacement surgeries here, but he has no intention of doing anything until he's retired. He said he's not doing that. He said that he had a nasty fall in training camp while covering a tight end, and he said, I'm pretty sure that would have been an ACL tear. That is, if I had an ACL to tear. Wow. So November 8th, 2001, I guess there's an article about him giving to a bunch back to North Carolina to the college for the Stone Center that he helped get up there, which is pretty nice here. He said he opened up his own pockets for his alma mater. He's pledged $150,000 to Carolina's Sonia Haynes Stone Black Cultural Center. The gift will help pay for construction of the new 44,500 square foot academic building. The $9 million cost is being met entirely with private gifts. Construction is scheduled to begin next spring.
Incredible.
Not too shabby. Hitchcock said, I want to show other athletes I'm putting my money where my mouth was. I want to show that the BCC is a cause not only worth fighting for, but also donating to. I want to give back. And his gift is among the largest to the building fund by a living person, not somebody's trust that does that kind of shit. So that's nice. A guy who actually needs the money.
Right.
And he gives it. So he said at first he didn't want to have a room named after him because he thought it was too much. But then he said he reconsidered after the death of his former teammate, Corey Stringer. And he said, it leaves a legacy for my kids. If anything happened to me, they could see what was important to me and what I did, which makes sense.
Sure.
It's a legacy you're leaving behind. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Anyway, that year for Carolina, he starts 7 of the 16 games, plays in all 16, though. He's never hurt.
Yeah.
He hasn't been hurt his whole NFL career, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He has 3 interceptions that year, too, so not bad. But they don't want him back the next year.
Okay.
So August, nope, he's all that local love and all that shit, don't want him back. So they cut him. So that 4-year deal is only a 2-year deal at that point.
Okay, yeah.
August 14th, 2002, New England Patriots signed Jimmy Hitchcock.
Getting him back. Yeah.
Getting him back, which is interesting because it's a new coach.
Yeah.
It's Belichick now. It's Parcells drafted him. So, I mean, we're 3 coaches later now and shit. It's just weird that they would sign him back, but they do get him. He's 9-7, or they're 9-7, the Patriots are that year. Mm-hmm. They don't make the playoffs that year. Wow. Oh, God, that was a glorious year.
What a time.
If only we could go back in time and relive it. Here is Tom Brady again this year. So there you go. Yeah, 2002. Okay, so Jimmie, on the other hand, on September 6th, 2002, this is right at the end of training camp, he's cut. He's released.
Done.
Then on September 17th, they re-sign him again. New England does.
What the
Somebody got hurt, I think, probably.
Okay.
That meant the guy in front of him got hurt, so they went and got him. Then November 19th, 2002, apparently when this guy feels better, they waive Jimmy Hitchcock again.
Ouch.
So that is, he ends up playing 1 game that year for New England and having no stats whatsoever. November 2002, same time, November 20th, he's signed by the Lions.
Okay.
And then November 22nd, he's waived by the Lions.
Uh-oh.
So they only wanted him for 2 days. They took a look at him and didn't like what they saw. And that's it.
Mort? Really?
I don't know. That's it for his NFL career, though.
Done
and fucking done. He played in 101 games, started 61 at 19 picks.
Oh, no.
That's his whole career. So he just gave $150,000 and now he's got no income.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's
magnanimous guy.
I know. Yeah,
on the wall.
People really like him. I mean, he can. If he's ever homeless, maybe he can go sit there for a while and.
Yeah, he's got a room, a building.
He's got his own room.
Go get out of the rain.
Shit, that's brutal. So he stays very quiet for about 6 years here.
Really?
Don't hear shit from him. Doesn't do anything. His name's never in the paper. Just retired NFL
living
player.
Off of that, whatever he's got left.
Trying to make his way in the world. Then, June 26th, 2008, he's going to be arrested and charged with 2 other people they're going to be charged with robbery and assault.
Holy.
Yeah, this article says Jimmy Hitchcock and 2 others were charged after a shooting in Waxhaw. Yeah, this was a big deal.
Shooting.
It said a former Carolina Panther was charged with assault and robbery after a Sunday shooting at a home under construction in a Waxhaw neighborhood. So they said he played, and it talked about that. They said the 2 other suspects turned themselves in late Tuesday. They are Mitchell Antonio Watts and Hitchcock's 34-year-old brother, Angelo Latte Hitchcock.
Hey, Latte.
Latte made the paper. I'm so happy. He said both Hitchcocks are charged with robbery with a dangerous weapon and assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflicting serious injury.
Yeah, that robbery and assault sounded light for what the fuck happened.
For
intent
shootings.
to kill.
So they said that Watts faces those charges and a count of attempted first-degree murder as well.
Oh, boy.
Watts and Angelo Hitchcock were in Union County Jail on a $50,000 bond. Jimmy's is a $60,000 bond for some reason.
What the shit?
Police said the shooting happened after the Hitchcocks got into an argument with 33-year-old Brian Cross, who was working on a house on Connells Point Avenue in the subdivision off NC 16 north of Waxhaw. Cross was shot 4 times in the chest and back.
What?
But still managed to pursue his assailants because his wallet was taken. These motherfuckers shot him 4 times and robbed him of a wallet.
Unbelievable.
He's working on a house, for Christ's sake.
He's just doing drywall, and he's getting shot. And he's
Did they think he took his life savings to the drywall job?
Probably all he had, and you're not taking my money, motherfucker. He chased him. He gave chase, but he didn't get him, right?
No, he's shot 4 fucking times in the chest and back and still managed to do that. That's fucking wild, man. Why is this guy involved with anybody? Let's rob the construction guy. The fuck is wrong with this guy? The crazy thing is, though, they said that he had to be in court on August 7th, and then no word is ever heard about it again.
What?
No, nothing. There's no
sentence.
No
nothing.
Follow-up. No charges were dropped. No, we tried him and he's not guilty. Nothing. It's just never heard of again. I don't know if they dropped the charges against the brothers and just charged the guy who did the shooting or what the fuck it is.
Yeah, it's possible.
He might have taken all the brunt of it. I don't know. December 22nd, 2010, his dad dies.
Oh, no.
So that's rough there for him. Yeah, senior. Jimmy Hitchcock, senior, dies. September 21st, 2012. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. This is his dipshittery in a nutshell.
Yeah.
The article says promoters and real estate professionals indicted in Waxhaw mortgage fraud cell.
Oh, what?
Mortgage fraud cell. Yeah. No, he stays right there. He does all his shooting and robbing in Waxhaw and frauding.
Yeah.
A total of 50 real estate professionals and others charged to date in operation here. Okay.
What did he do?
He said 9 defendants have been charged in the latest takedown in the Operation Wax House mortgage fraud investigation. It's Waxhaw, so they call it the Operation Wax House.
Yeah.
Very fucking creative government.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. Attorney Tompkins is joined in making today's announcement by Chris Breesy, Special Agent in charge of Federal Bureau of Investigation, and a couple other people here. A second superseding indictment in the Western District of North Carolina charging 6 defendants with federal offenses, including mortgage fraud conspiracy, bank bribery conspiracy, money laundering conspiracy, and wire fraud.
What are they trying to do? What's their
all
scam?
These indictments here. Yeah, they were all handed down by a U.S. district or U.S. federal grand jury. 3 additional defendants were charged separately by criminal bills of information accompanied by plea agreements. The mortgage fraud and bank bribery conspiracies alleged in the superseding indictment represent a part of an ongoing investigation conducted by the FBI and IRS into mortgage fraud targeting the Mecklenburg and Union County communities of North Carolina's Western District. They said mortgage fraud makes a mockery of the American dream, devastates neighborhoods, and wreaks havoc on our financial system. We will continue to go after those responsible and bring them to justice. Yeah, we get it. They robbed some shit.
Bad.
Tell us.
Yeah.
They said the long-term investigation is proof of the FBI's commitment to protect. Okay, we get it. Jesus Christ.
FBI, your tax dollars hard at work here. We know. Just tell us what the scam is.
Then they go to an IRS guy and he says, mortgage fraud creates a significant loss of tax revenue, drives buyers into foreclosure. We get it. It's bad. The word fucking fraud is right there in the title of it. That's all you needed to say.
It ruins lives. We know.
Lies. That's what that means. So according to the allegations here, not to hold it any longer, from about 2006 through 2007, a mortgage fraud cell was operating in Union and Mecklenburg counties, primarily targeting the neighborhoods of Providence Downs South, Woodhall, Chatelaine, Firethorn, Piper Glen, and Stratford on Providence. Operations of the mortgage fraud cell, according to the charges, began when a promoter would agree with a builder to purchase a property at the true price. Okay, so the cell would then arrange for a buyer to purchase the property at an inflated price.
Right.
In most circumstances, the buyer would agree to purchase the property in his or her own name and sign whatever documents were necessary in exchange for a hidden kickback.
Right.
So, yeah, they would have somebody buy it basically just to inflate the price.
Yeah.
So, okay. The builder would sell the property at the inflated price. The lender would make a mortgage loan on the basis of that inflated price, and the difference between the inflated price and the true price would be extracted at closing and distributed amongst the conspiracy.
Okay.
So they would lie. They tell people, you're going to pay this much, but you're going to say you're going to pay this much.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it would work. And they'd get a little something out of it, and they'd still have the same mortgage payment, and then the money in the middle, the lump sum, would go to all these people that were doing this shit.
Okay.
Individuals and entities participating in the alleged mortgage fraud activities included promoters, mortgage brokers, lawyers, real estate agents, builders, and buyers. The bill of indictment also describes a bank bribery conspiracy to bribe a bank insider to provide false verifications of deposit and an embezzlement scheme by attorney Michelle Mallard from her trust account. This is not good.
No, this is very complicated, too, that they're like, they're making value a property be valued at a higher value. But where does that money go? Just in their fucking pockets. But how is it recovered? It isn't.
Nope, it's gone. It's spent. So this is here. The one guy, Chris Bellin, is charged with mortgage fraud, conspiracy, money laundering, participated as a real estate agent and a promoter in the scheme. We have James E. Fink, which couldn't be a better name for a fraud guy here. He's a builder, involved in the scheme. Jimmy Hitchcock of Raleigh, charged with mortgage fraud, bank bribery, and money laundering conspiracies.
There's got to be millions of dollars involved, right?
Fuck. After a while, that adds up. If you do this with a bunch of, and like a whole new subdivision or a whole, that's crazy. He was a promoter in the scheme, and he is in federal custody pending a detention hearing. So he is actually in jail. A lot of these people are still yet to appear, but he's sitting in fucking jail. There's all sorts of people. Builder from Charlotte, what is this, a broker who participated, all these people. Jesus Christ. The mortgage fraud conspiracy charge in the indictment carries a maximum prison term of 30 years.
Ooh.
Can't do the paperwork crimes. They will get you for that shit.
Yeah, those
white collars
are ugly. Yeah.
And there's no way to say you didn't do it because you left a paper trail.
Right. The thing is, it should be punished highly because all you had to do is not do it.
That's the thing. Anyway. You had to go out of your way to think of this shit.
Right.
Like, OJ can say he didn't kill his wife from now till the end of fucking time, and no matter how much DNA or proof or whatever, we don't know.
Right.
If he went over there and signed a piece of paper that they both signed, said, I'm going to kill you now, and she said, fine, and then chopped her head off, they'd be fucked. Because that's what these people are doing. It's all in the paperwork.
It's crazy. There's notaries and timestamps.
Dude, all of these crimes depend on no one ever looking at it. That's the only thing it depends on. There's no hidden anything. It's just that it'll go undetected and no one will notice it.
And when it's money like that, the government is so mad because you got to pay your share to the government. If you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars untaxed, they are livid.
They come in.
Pissed.
They come in like the fucking mafia, and you owe them protection money, and they're like, "You're saying this is 10% of your take this week? Come on, it looked pretty busy in here." And you're going, "No, I swear, it's all I got. I don't know. I saw a line out the fucking door. I think you're holding out on me."
We'll break your fucking kneecaps.
So, the bank bribery charge carries a maximum term of 5 years, and the money laundering conspiracy carries a maximum term of 20 years in prison.
Good Lord.
So he's set up right now for a maximum of 55 years in prison for this, which no one should do 55 years in prison unless they've seriously injured or killed somebody at that point. You know what I mean? Rape somebody or something. Yeah, that's what I mean. Some shit like that. Even hurt children. Did you rape or kill them? No.
Yeah,
then,
there better be a sexual
years
aspect
is
to
fine.
this crime.
Yeah. Unless it's rape or death or near death and now you don't have any legs or something, some shit like that. But otherwise... everything else can be repaired in less than 55 years, hopefully. So the mortgage fraud conspiracy charge in the bills of information carries a maximum term of 5 years in prison. So Operation Wax House, they're saying the prosecution for the government is being handled by Kurt Myers and Maria Vento. The announcement is a part of efforts underway by the Financial Fraud Enforcement Task Force, which was created in November 2009 to wage an aggressive, coordinated, and proactive effort to investigate and prosecute financial crimes. This is all because of the 2007 and 8 mortgage crisis when it was so many fucking loopholes that needed to be tightened up.
And then they had to bail banks because they were the fucking main benefactors of this shit. And when we just get that all sorted out and you are now fucking it over, what the fuck is wrong with you?
There's a lot of people trying to get rid of all of this shit now.
Yeah.
They want it to go right back to that because we never had a 2007. What happened? I don't get it. Well, we did the same fucking thing in the 80s. The fucking the fucking economy was good for 2 years in the 80s. It was good for 85, 86, and part of 87 until the fucking stock market crashed and it was called Black whatever the fuck day it was. Literally. That shit doesn't work. And then years 2000 by 2000, we're going, hey, let's try supply side economics again. And then that doesn't fucking work and falls apart again. And then 15 years later, we're like, one more try with that. What do you say? I know every time we've tried it. Yeah, I know every time we've tried it since the 60s, it never worked. But let's try again.
And you always got, when it does happen, and even if it inflates, it inflates phony. And then when it deflates, you've got people that have been fucking the system, taking advantage of this stuff, and now you got to throw them in prison too.
The whole thing's a fucking insane mess. So they said there's more than 20 federal agencies, 94 U.S. attorneys' offices, and state and local partners. It's the broadest coalition of law enforcement, investigatory, and regulatory agencies ever assembled to combat fraud.
Wow.
Since its formation, the task force has made great strides in facilitating increased investigation and prosecution of financial crimes, enhancing coordination and cooperation among federal, state, and local authorities, and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So they said in the past 3 fiscal years, the Justice Department has filed more than 10,000 financial fraud cases against nearly 15,000 defendants, including more than 2,700 mortgage fraud defendants.
Wow.
That's a fucking lot. So they have all of these people's names here, too. It's a ton of fucking people all over the place. Hitchcock is in the promoters camp here, which it looks like there's a lot of people in the promoters camp. That's a fucking big deal. So
that's probably the easy side to do, just like going out and trying to recruit and get more people involved, right?
Well, yeah, you're saying you can make this money. It's super easy. And people go, is that illegal? And they go, I mean, it's a gray area, but no one's.
I don't know. I got no ACLs. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, fuck it. It's also a gray area to play cornerback with no ACLs and a 4.62 40 time. I did that. Why can't I do this? So he, in June of 2013, is going to plead guilty to 1 count of mortgage fraud conspiracy, 1 count of bank bribery conspiracy, and 1 count of money laundering conspiracy.
That's ugly.
So he's going to plead. That's a lot, man. He is going to be, they said, by the way, Hitchcock's bad dealings incurred losses of approximately $4.5 million. And in addition, so that's how much that was defrauded out of other people.
Yeah.
In addition, Hitchcock personally received more than $500,000 in fraudulently obtained loan proceeds.
Wow.
That's what he's been up to.
Scumbag.
Yep, he sat in federal custody from the time he was arrested in September 2012 all the way up till he pleading guilty in June of 2013. And he is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 46 months in federal prison.
So he's got 3 years to go.
Almost 4 years in federal prison, followed by 2 years of probation.
Okay.
So that was, that's to be started. Oh, he pled guilty then. So that's September 2014 he's sentenced in. So there's that. June of 2017 here. It's a very, very fucking strange thing here. Okay. There's a lawsuit, and this is a out-of-country travel memorandum here. Mr. Hitchcock, before Your Honor, on September 26, 2014, for all the things he did here. Yep. Mr. Hitchcock sentenced to 46 months, blah, blah, blah. Supervised release began on January 22nd, 2016.
Okay, so he did 2 years from that.
2.5 years he did there. He submitted a request to travel to Quintana Roo, Mexico.
Yeah.
Not only does he want to go out of state, he wants to go out of country.
Go to country, yeah. While he's on supervised release.
Well, he's on supervised release for this with his girlfriend. And do you know why they want to go?
Tulum, to get married.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Why?
Nope. I could give you a million guesses. I don't think you get it. It's very important for him to leave the country to go with his girlfriend for a yoga retreat.
There aren't any of those in North Carolina?
Wow. Dude, that's what says white collar prison more than I'd love to be able to go out of country for a yoga retreat. Holy balls. Yeah. They say he'll leave on July 6, 2017 and return on July 9th, 2017. Okay. He's maintained a stable residence and employment since he's been under supervision. That's good. Is the employment
right?
Is it legal?
Right. Is he a boss anywhere doing paperwork?
I hope not. Not with fucking money anyway.
Perhaps in charge of a bank account somewhere?
Oh, man. According to his supervising officer from the Eastern District, there have been no known incidents of noncompliance.
Terrific.
It's recommended by them that he be allowed to travel to Quintana Roo, Mexico, as long as he remains in compliance with the terms and conditions of supervision.
Right.
Which they wouldn't be able to figure out anyway. And the court orders the permission to travel is approved by the court.
Head on down and get to that hot yoga.
Get on down to some hot yoga. That is June 5th, 2017. And since then, Jimmie has remained quiet.
Yeah.
But there's other people here that, must feel bad about it. Number one,
a little embarrassed. Yeah.
Not nearly as bad as I feel.
Yeah.
For Jimmy Hitchcock, who is Jimmy Hitchcock Jr.
Oh.
Yep, he is a football player and Major League Baseball player during the Depression era.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
30s. If you look up Jimmy Hitchcock football, you're getting 9 out of 10
Tons
of this
him,
guy.
huh? Really?
This guy was way more famous in his era
Really?
than Jimmy Hitchcock was in his era. Yeah, Hitchcock attended college at Auburn, where he was the school's first All-American in both football and baseball.
Wow.
Known as the Phantom of Union Springs, he earned 3 varsity football letters from Auburn from 30 to 32. He played quarterback, running back, and punter, and led his team to the 1932 SEC championship.
How many blowjobs did that guy get? Wow.
So fucking many. The girls did not know what they were doing because it was the 30s, but he's like, just put your mouth on it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. Put your mouth on it, go up and down. We'll figure out the rest later.
I'll throw my hips around.
Well, once you go up and down a little bit, then we'll start talking about suction. But till then, just worry about getting it in there.
Just keep your jaw relaxed. I'll do
keep
the
your
rest.
jaw relaxed, and we'll work it out there. So you want to keep your teeth on the other side of your lips. Very good. So he was named 1932 Walter Camp College Football All-American Team and was inducted into the National Football Foundation's College Football Hall of Fame in 1954.
Wow.
And he was also inducted into the Helms Athletic Foundation Hall of Fame in 1966, the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame in 1969.
How about it?
He lettered in baseball and garnered All-America honors in baseball as well.
Yeah.
He played professional baseball for 7 seasons, including playing shortstop for the Boston Bees, now known as the Atlanta Braves of the National League. So it was the Boston Braves, not the Bees, unless they changed it for a year. Following his playing career, Hitchcock returned to Auburn as head baseball coach and assistant football coach as well. How many guys are at a major university coaching 2 different sports? That's fucking incredible.
Just having the best life.
He also took a position on the University of Auburn, or Auburn University Board of Trustees, which was responsible for the hiring of legendary football coach Shug Jordan. Alabama's baseball facility, Hitchcock Field at Plainsman's Park, is named in honor of Jimmie and his brother Billy Hitchcock as well. Outside of sports, Jimmie, this guy served in the U.S. Navy in World War II. And also served in a political position on the Alabama Public Service Commission, and then he died in 1959. So he only lived to be 48.
That's Jesus. That's a hard life, man.
That is so much action stuffed into 48 years.
That's a lot of victory. Yeah, just winning every day.
Baseball over Hitler, just winning. Yeah,
man.
One day we're beating fucking Georgia, the next day we're beating Hitler. Who cares? It's all good. The award named after him is the Jimmy Hitchcock Award.
Yeah.
It's a program of the YMCA of Greater Montgomery, established to recognize leadership in athletes and encourage others to emulate the man whose memory is perpetuated by this award. It was created the year he died.
Good for him.
Played third base for the baseball team, later signed with the New York Yankees at some point. So not probably with the farm team, Right. So you have to have strong personal character, dependability, 100% effort, team leadership, church leadership, school activities leadership, and scholastic leadership. Yeah. Jesus Christ, that's asking way too much. I have none of those things.
As a child, you have to have all that?
All that shit as a kid, which is pretty fucking amazing. And then the YMCA, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's that. Now, another guy, Jimmy Hitchcock, or James Hitchcock, generating valuable connections for you and your business in London, England.
Oh.
So there's him. Also, here, a man who shot self, made up story, shows off wound to judge. Jimmy Hitchcock pulled up the leg of his jail orange pants to show the judge the gunshot wound in his calf. Yeah. Holy smokes, said Allegan County Circuit Court Judge Kevin Cronin on Monday during Hitchcock's sentencing.
Yeah.
It just says Allegheny. They cut it off short.
Oh.
In the newspaper. I have a screenshot. They cut it off short. The wound happened Christmas Eve when Hitchcock shot himself in the leg, then blamed the wound on a non-existent attacker.
Somebody chased me.
He's guilty of possessing a firearm and filing a false police report. He said it was accidental. The gun fell and went off, and I shot myself in the leg. I was just scared because of my previous record, what it would look like for me, he told the judge. So Hitchcock could have been sent to jail for a year or more, but the judge sentenced him to only 109 days in jail, which he has already served, 3 months probation and 6 weeks, whatever. That's interesting. He said the defendant has substantially suffered because of his wounds.
No shit.
So they gave him a thing there. He said that the judge said he'd like to have the gun melted down so he could keep it on his desk as a reminder about people making bad decisions. He's going to get a paperweight out of it. Okay. And he says, so I can tell people not to shoot themselves in the foot.
I mean, you could just do that with the gun. You can make it inoperable.
Yeah, no problem. No, he's melt it. Put it on my desk. Paperweight that shit.
I needed a blob of metal.
Jimmy's podcast is the POAST, like roast, but with a P. It's an acronym, though, and it stands for Plan of Action Stop Talking, which makes no sense here. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem to really have a lot going on there. He's also apparently into some weight loss bullshit. He's a rep at Isogenics, which sounds like some multi-level marketing bullshit.
Isogenics?
ISA, ISAGENIX. Yeah, okay. Isogenics. Yeah. At Halo's List. That sounds hardcore multi-level marketing to me. I don't know.
I mean, everything you're doing sounds like bullshit to me.
And his job is listed as rep with Isogenics, so that sounds like quite a lot of that. So yeah, the POAS podcast, which doesn't seem to be doing too well, honestly, based on the amount of likes and things. I don't think it's killing it out there. Can't get enough of Jimmy Hitchcock. Well, you can head over, you can get a mortgage and deal with him there. He's probably banned from any of that shit in the future.
He's not allowed to do that shit.
You can go and get a Jimmy Hitchcock autographed football card on Autograph Warehouse. It's in his North Carolina uniform.
Oh, nice.
And 95 Leaf, I believe, is the card. Okay. And you can get it also comes with a certificate of authenticity. And it's $12.
Bullshit.
Yeah, we did a Patreon on that. It's $12. Yep. Or you can get an unsigned Jimmy Hitchcock 1995 NFL Fleer Prospects rookie card for 99 cents. His rookie card, everyone, is 99 cents.
$1.
That shows you've not done well.
He can get his rookie card for cheaper than a hamburger.
Cheaper than a hamburger. And so that's Jimmy Hitchcock. Now, before we end, though, we have an update on another person. By the way, we have two updates. Oh. First of all, Lawrence Taylor got arrested for not registering as a sex offender. Which is fucking dumb. Number two.
If you see him, you know he's a sex offender.
It's LT. Well, you know he's Lawrence Taylor, so you know he's a sex offender. Because you know he's...
He didn't have to register.
Do you not know LT? Come on, man. So then our Dutch rapist, the Dutch volleyball rapist who fucking molested a 12-year-old girl.
Traveled for it.
That motherfucker is allowed on the Dutch Olympic volleyball team.
Yeah, he's competing for medals.
And it's one thing for the Netherlands to say, okay, we'll let you on the team, but it's another thing for the Olympics to not go, no, he's not allowed on this.
You can't unleash him on another country.
No, he's not allowed in the game. Sorry, we raped a 12-year-old, so we're not going to do that multiple times.
They're letting him in the country. I don't think Canada would let him.
No, Japan wouldn't let him. England probably wouldn't let him. There's a lot of countries that wouldn't let him. And they say in all these articles that he's staying away from the Olympic Village, though.
Don't worry, guys. The Olympians are safe.
Yeah, the Olympians, who most of our over 18, are safe. But he just doesn't want to get beat up by one of the guys on the wrestling team. Probably he wants to stretch him out for being a fucking kid rapist.
The coxswain of a fucking rowing team beating the shit out of him with an oar.
That'd be great with a fucking big oar. And finally, let's do an update on Jarryd Hayne, who, if we remember, he was our Australian rugby player who then went to play for the 49ers in American football, and then obviously wasn't good enough and had to go back. So he, June 12th, 2024, this just happened. He was in prison for rape. was convicted of rape in prison. Well, he wins his appeal from the rape case and walks right out of prison.
Where?
Set free. I believe it was in Australia, wasn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, Newcastle. Well, that sounds like England, but it might be
very lenient.
I would say so. They said it's the prison for the first time more than a year. His rape convictions were overturned on appeal. They said he approached a silver sport utility vehicle. It's in Sydney, outside the Mary Wade Correctional Center in Sydney West, just before 5 p.m., hours after he learned of the outcome of the appeal. Because that's the thing that sucks. Even if you are not like out, even if you are out on bail, I think, but if you're not like out on bail when you get tried or when you have an appeal, even if you get found not guilty, like OJ got found not guilty. And he didn't just turn around and walk out of court with Johnny Cochran. He then had to go back in through all the same procedures and be processed out of jail. So it was like, had to be searched again, had to do all that shit over again. That's pretty wild. So apparently he was, as we know, he's been ordered at this point to live with his wife. You live with your wife.
How dare you?
The court has told him he has to live with his wife.
Good.
And surrender a surety of $20,000 and not contact the complainant as he waits to learn if he will face a fourth trial over rape allegations.
Wow. I hope his wife is like my ex-wife and makes his life a living hell.
Fuck, and imagine now you have to stay in the house and she hates you, but you're court-ordered to be there. Holy shit, he was found guilty of sexually assaulting the woman at her Newcastle home in the Hunter region following the high-profile trial. It was the third time he had faced trial over the same incident.
Yeah, that's right.
The second time he was found guilty, because there was a mistrial one of the other times. He claims it was consensual, but the jury accepted the woman's version of the events, that she repeatedly said no and stop and was bleeding after he pulled her pants off, was left bleeding at the end of it. So he has continued to maintain his innocence and quickly launched an appeal. So he appeared via an audiovisual link for this, by the way, and the justice delivered the majority decision which upheld his appeal on 2 of the 3 grounds argued by his defense team. The appeal relied on 3 grounds. First being the verdicts were unreasonable and not supported by evidence at trial. Secondly, the trial judge erred in ruling that the complainant did not have to give evidence about a 2021 interaction with 2 people she messaged on the day of the alleged sexual assault, and in 2018. And lastly, that the judge's ruling resulted in a miscarriage of justice.
Unbelievable.
The Court of Criminal Appeal dismissed the first ground, but granted the second and third grounds. So not that the verdict was unreasonable and not supported by evidence, but it was more about kind of like appeals shit, like legal maneuvering. So they said the court will quash the convictions and order a new trial. This will be trial number fucking 5.
Let's just keep doing this. Jesus
wow.
Christ.
Whether there's a new trial is a matter of for the director of public prosecutions, and the appeal was heard, and they were divided 2-1. The appeals court, so not everybody wanted it. Yeah. In her reasons, Justice Sweeney concluded that the appeal should be fully upheld because it was, quote, not clear to the requisite standard that the woman did not consent to the 2 sexual acts, or if she did not, that Mr. Hayne knew that. My own assessment of the quality and sufficiency of the evidence, I have a reasonable doubt that the applicant committed the offenses charged. I am of the view there's a significant possibility that an innocent person has been convicted.
Okay.
By contrast, the other dissenting judge here found the appeal should have been dismissed on all grounds because the jury could have been satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt of we went through this with the jury, and they decided twice now. So they said any decision without a possible retrial will be made in accordance with the prosecution guidelines. And then they said, this is the prosecutor, I am of the view that in the circumstances of the history of this matter, to put the applicant on trial for a 4th time would not be in the interests of justice. So, they said that it's unlikely a new trial will be held before the expiration of his non-parole period, which he has mostly served. So he's already served out all of his shit. Yeah. He'd been sentenced to 4 years and 9 months behind bars. And, I don't like the way they put it, by the way, on charges of digital and oral assault. Jesus. And they don't mean on your phone. They mean...
This is fucking rape. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. So he has to be good, obviously, and live with his wife and do all of that shit. The guy representing Jarryd said that his client should be acquitted rather than face a fourth trial. He argued the woman, who cannot be identified for legal reasons, had concealed text and social media messages, which shows she was consenting. The messages relate to a Snapchat conversation she had with a friend whom she had never met in person. This woman had messaged a friend and before and after meeting Jarryd, where she told her about the sexual encounter but did not say it was non-consensual. So his lawyer, by the way, his lawyer, his name is Mr. Game, Tim Game.
Oh, is that right?
Mr. Running some game here, argued concealment was the same as lying or deception, saying that the woman hid her evidence on a large scale. He told the court concealment was front and center in the defense of the case, but miscarriage of justice arose when the district court judge Graham Turnbull ruled the defense could not cross-examine the woman on her deleted or undisclosed messages with a man and a woman before and after the incident. So they said she deliberately concealed it, and that's what it was. So the court was told the woman had listened to Hayne's prior appeal in 2021, contacted the social media friend on Facebook the same day, and the message read, "I hope this was worth it for you. The pain I have endured from all this is unfathomable. I've never lied. I've never done anything to you. And for you to write something to JH," meaning Hayne, "about me having him over does not excuse what happened. I did not tell you because it was disgusting and confusing for me. If he gets out, you can thank yourself." So she's saying this
I told
person
you he was coming over.
And I didn't say it because I didn't know you, and I didn't want to expose everything of my life to you at that point. So she said, "This has been the hardest, most painful thing I've ever been through, and you can thank yourself for helping a guilty person." Okay. So they said the woman had potentially had a view to influencing the witness account at some point too. So the game told the lawyer it's evidence of dishonesty. It also goes to her credibility in a general sense. She had never met, and she said she did not know the person at all, is what her lawyer said, or what the prosecutor said. Right. So why would she tell her that? But the justices agreed. And the justice said, by not permitting counsel to cross-examine the complainant on those topics, then telling the jury that in considering the submission, the complainant had lied about matters, including deletions from her phone, they should consider whether that was fairly put, and that creates an unfairness.
Okay, so try it again. Let the jury know about that. The guy still raped her. Jesus.
So July 4th, 2024, this is a game again here. He does some interesting shit. First of all, he called Jarryd Hayne a fine and decent man.
Oh, boy. Okay.
And described the rape accusations against him as trifling rubbish, which is a very English-Australian way to put that.
Sure is, yeah.
Imagine if an NFL player's fucking accused of rape and his lawyer calls it trifling rubbish. We'd be like,
what's
that?
Putrid garbage.
Putrid refuse. So... this brings an end to the whole thing, and they said there's a second man too that cannot be named for some fucking reason here. So
rape allegations?
Yes, it's unclear if he's also that guy. He's accused of rape and is yet to stand trial.
Oh boy!
So the umbrella Varel stemming from a LinkedIn post praising his character. I guess one of the people, a second post, which has now been deleted, now emerged of Mrs. Cuneen once again praising Hayne, as well as a second man who is accused of rape and yet to stand trial. This is somebody whoever gets accused of rape, they say they're great guys for social media interaction. Yeah. There's a ton of people like that. That just,
crazy.
What are you talking about? I'll say the dumbest thing ever so everyone will click on it.
I need anger and vitriol.
Yeah, she shared a photo of Hayne and the other man drinking some liquor, some champagne at the swanky opera bar in Sydney, alongside a caption hailing the two as geniuses and beloved fathers. Wow. That's this woman put that out.
Geniuses.
No greater geniuses in each other's own field, and thoroughly decent men and beloved dads. And then says Haney, to him, this first guy and Haney, both falsely accused of trifling rubbish and both cruelly incarcerated in the interim. We pretend we are a civilized society.
Oh, is that right? We're not civilized.
Wow.
Throwing non-rapists in prison for rape. Yeah,
Jesus
that's not civilized
Christ.
at all.
Holy shit. So, he said that... he agrees that he's a fine and decent man.
Yeah.
So there you go, everybody. That's Jimmy Hitchcock and a little Jarryd Hayne update for that ass. So that's that. Hope you like the updates on the episode. We're going to have some crazy shit again next week, too. We got some back into some stuff. I'm going to find some wrestling for us soon, which are always fun. We're going to get into some lots of fun shit on the Crime and Sports horizon here. Right. And if you want to help out the show, great way to do it that's 100% free and takes like 30 seconds. Whatever app you're listening on, give us 5 stars, say something nice. Super fucking easy. Do that.
Very easy.
Check that out. Also go to shutupandgivememurder.com. That will get you tickets for live shows and merchandise, all sorts of stuff. So head over there and hang out with us, shutupandgivememurder.com. Listen to our other 2 shows, Small Town Murder and Your Stupid Opinions, which are fucking hilarious, and we think you'd like them if you like these, so check that out. You definitely want to follow on social media, at Crime and Sports, wherever you can, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. You also, for sure, want Patreon, patreon.com/crimeinsports, and that is, you get everything for that. $5 a month or above. Hundreds of back episodes of bonus stuff that's never been public. You've never heard it before. Tons of shit. And then new episodes every other week. 1 Crime and Sports and 1 Small Town Murder. And you get it all, goddammit. And they are all very kind of, you could, if you like one show, you'll listen to both the episodes.
It's a little
type
different.
Of thing. It's all different kind of stuff. So get in there and do that. And you will get a shout out at the end of the show, which would normally be right now. But we had to record, because of some travel problems, we had to record this episode extra early.
A little early,
So there's no way to do that.
They're not ready yet.
They're not ready yet. So what we will do is definitely all of this week's shout outs will be at the end of Small Town Murder. So let's say you want to get your shout out. You don't feel like listening to Small Town Murder. Just fast forward it to the end.
Get to the
it's the last like 15 minutes of the show. It's in there, and you'll find it in there, and you'll hear
your
name.
Fucking show, and it'll be there.
Probably listen to the whole show and actually enjoy a couple hours of your life, because we make a fucking hell of a show on Small Town Murder. So either way, do that, and then next Monday we will be back with shout outs, and everything else will be normal. And so that's how that goes. And we'll be back too. If you want to find us on social media, head to shutupandgivememurder.com. There's a little drop down menu, tells you where to go. Go there. Also, subscribe if you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts. They did a thing. They canceled your auto download.
Dumb.
So go ahead and go up to the right-hand corner on our podcast page in your library. Click on the podcast page, ... in the upper right-hand corner. Automatic download. Turn that bad boy on, and you'll be getting them again automatically. So do that. Keep coming back and hanging out with us, because we had a great time. Follow us and hang out with us. Listen to our other shows. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.